So, do you guys remember when the Obama administration floated the idea of putting a woman on the $20 bill? I think they had Sojourner Truth in the running, but it ended up being Harriet Tubman that made it to the final cutting board. And then nothing happened. I'm going to tell you why nothing happened and why we can possibly see a black woman on the $20 bill very shortly. Let's talk about it. So in 2016 is when the idea of Harriet Tubman actually being put on the $20 bill was first introduced. But that was close to the end of Obama's term. And so the next president would be left with the decision about how to implement this new idea about having Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. And as you know, we had President Trump, 45, in office in 2017. And the idea of putting her on the $20 bill was put on the back burner. Basically, they would say it would cost too much money, it would take too much time. They basically didn't make it a priority. And so it kind of got pushed to the back burner and never to almost be seen again. But now the Biden administration recently put out a statement that they were making it a priority to have Harriet Tubman put on the face of the $20 bill to replace Andrew Jackson. So how did she even get in the running? Why is this so important? Do you care? Why isn't someone that currently is alive now even in the running to go on the bill? Why was she considered? We're going to talk about all of that because this is Black History Month, and we want to go ahead and give you some interesting information about African Americans and their contributions to American history. So here's a fun fact. In 1866, Congress made it a law that no living person can be put on any American currency. So that's why someone who would be like, oh, this person would be a good person to put on American currency, if they're still alive, it's against the law to actually put them on American currency. Wait till they die and then nominate them to go on American currency. But that's why, let's say, I would let's have Obama. He's the first black president on there. He's still alive. He would not be in the running to be on any U.S. currency until he's deceased. So I don't know if you remember when they were trying to consider who they were going to put to replace Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill. Sojourner Truth's name was floated, and then Harriet Tubman's name ended up being the final person. She has a rich history. She started as a slave. She escaped slavery and then became part of the Underground Railroad, transporting people from slavery to freedom for many years, and she was an abolitionist. She later in life became a women's suffrage activist, meaning she was fighting for a women's right to vote. And ironically, she was fighting for women's right to vote, and women eventually got the right to vote with the 19th Amendment, but unfortunately it was for white women, and it wasn't for black women, which is what Harriet Tubman was fighting for. And so they were originally trying to release the new $20 bill with Harriet Tubman's face on it in 2020, because that would be the 100 years of celebrating women having the right to vote. But of course, 2020 was a mess. And that's not the only reason, because President Trump didn't make it a priority. He actually has Andrew Jackson's portrait in the White House. It was not previously there. He had to put it there. And so he probably was in no rush to have his, idol replaced on the $20 bill, which probably played into the fact why we're still here and not having something that was talked about in 2016 still hasn't happened. Meaning the White House, they gave several reasons why it's so hard to change the people on there. It's so hard to change things. One of the reasons was due to counterfeiting. They've been trying to change the U.S. dollars so that it's less likely to be counterfeited. And so they were saying, well, changing it to Harriet Tubman would take years. They said, we'll take at least to 2028 to do that. And let's be real. When our country really wants to do something, we put the pedal to the metal and we make it happen. And so if they really wanted to change Harriet Tubman and put her on the $20 bill, they could do it, and it won't take that long to do it. That's what I believe. But, that's just my little humble opinion. So I was just thinking, do we really care about Harriet Tubman being on the $20 bill? What is the significance of it? Does it have any significance? And I kind of was going back and forth about it. Comment below in the comment section and let me know, what do you think? Do you care whether Harriet Tubman is on the $20 bill? Would she have more prominence on something else, let's say a stamp or some other kind of acknowledgement of what she did. I don't know. I've been going back and forth with it. Have you guys seen the movie Harriet, where they did a whole, I guess, production on her life and how she contributed to the freedom of a lot of slaves? And I thought that was a good ode to her to show her accomplishments. In regards to putting on the American currency, there's been women on American currency before. I think they had Sacagawea on like a coin. They had, I think, Susan B. Anthony on a coin as well, but never on the actual dollar, the dollar bills. And so in that sense, I think it would go a long way to show that it's representative of our country. Like, our country is not just made of white men, which is who grace the fronts of the dollar bills now. So it shows that, you know, the country is made of men and women who make contributions. But I'm trying to decide whether Harriet Tubman would want to get caught up. Would she care about getting caught up with the American currency, which was used to trade her ancestors? I don't know. I'm kind of torn about it. I see the significance of her, you know, being represented, but I don't know if her face on the currency does it justice. Maybe somewhere else, maybe a statue, like, you know, we have the Lincoln Memorial, things like that. Maybe that would be a better representation. I'm a little torn about it, to be honest with you. But one thing I am glad about is that the Biden administration is acknowledging some things that they had to try to fix that happened before 45 was in office. And that was one of the initiatives that kind of just got put to the wayside. Whether maybe they come up with a better idea, I don't know. But I know they have a lot of people in the current administration that will address certain issues and maybe find some other ways that we can represent not only women in our history, Black women, Black men, indigenous people. The country is made up of a lot of people, and it's not just white men. And so having that representative in a lot of facets of our life, I think is important.